Imagine coming home to find a letter taped to your front door. Not a pizza coupon, not a friendly note from a neighbor, but a formal demand to remove your dog from the neighborhood within 10 days. Not because he bit anyone, not because he caused a single problem, but because of what breed he was. This is the story of Biscuit, a gentle giant who became the most beloved dog in the subdivision, and the woman who tried to destroy him. Spoiler, it did not go well for her. My neighbor Alex moved into a quiet suburban HOA community about 2 years before this story explodes. Nice house, decent neighbors, manageable dues. And then there was Biscuit, a Rottweiler mix with the energy of a golden retriever puppy and the emotional intelligence of a therapy dog. Because, as it turns out, that's exactly what he was. Alex had a dog naming Biscuit, a certified emotional support animal under the Fair Housing Act. Relevant detail. File that away. Now, every neighborhood has that one person, the one who memorizes the CC and RS like scripture, who photographs your trash cans if they're an inch too close to the curb on collection day, who runs for the HOA board not out of civic duty, but out of pure, uncut power hunger. In this neighborhood, that person was Karen. Karen had been on the HOA board for 6 years. 6 years of sending violation notices. 6 years of scheduling 7 a.m. lawn inspections. 6 years of being the reason people dreaded checking their mailboxes. From the moment Alex moved in with Biscuit, Karen's eyes narrowed. She didn't say anything at first. She just watched and waited. And then one Tuesday morning, she made her move. It started with a letter, formal, typed in a font that was clearly chosen to feel as official and intimidating as possible. Karen had located, buried on page 47 of the HOA's governing documents, in a subsection nobody had referenced in over a decade, a breed restriction clause. Rottweilers, Pit Bulls, Dobermans. A list of breeds deemed, in the HOA's founding wisdom, to be inherently dangerous. Biscuit had 10 days to vacate the premises. 10 days. Alex was stunned. Biscuit had never so much as growled at a squirrel. He had fan mail from the elderly couple 3 doors down who saved him dog biscuits every week. But Karen wasn't done. She began appearing near Alex's fence line with her phone out, photographing Biscuit through the slats. Not once, not twice, repeatedly. Building what she apparently believed was a case. Then came the animal control complaint. Karen filed a formal report claiming Biscuit had exhibited unprovoked aggression toward a passerby. Animal control showed up, investigated, found absolutely zero evidence to support the claim, and closed the case. But the damage to reputation was the point, and Karen knew it. She launched a door-to-door campaign through the neighborhood, going house to house telling neighbors that Biscuit was dangerous, that he was a liability, that something terrible was going to happen, and Alex wasn't taking it seriously. Some neighbors believed her. Most were skeptical. The ones who actually knew Biscuit were livid. And then the letter arrived. Not a friendly reminder, not a second notice. A cease and desist style letter drafted in the most aggressive language Karen and whatever template she found online could produce. It stated that failure to remove the dog would result in escalating fines, a lien placed on the property, and, the nuclear option, a potential forced sale. Let that sink in. She was threatening to take Alex's house over a dog who had never hurt anyone. Alex read that letter twice, then set it down, then made a phone call to a fair housing attorney. Here is where things get beautiful. Alex walked into the next HOA board meeting, the one where Karen had planned to formally vote on enforcing the breed restriction, and laid a folder on the table. Inside that folder was everything. Biscuit's official emotional support animal certification, a letter from Alex's licensed mental health provider, and a printed copy of the Fair Housing Act, specifically the section that states that housing providers, including HOAs, are required to make reasonable accommodations for emotional support animals, regardless of breed restrictions, weight limits, or any other pet policies in their governing documents. Federal law supersedes the CC&Rs, full stop. The room went quiet. Karen's expression cycled through approximately 4 stages of grief in about 12 seconds. The HOA's own management company representative, who was present at the meeting, went visibly pale. Because here is the part that made this story truly extraordinary. The management company had apparently never once briefed the board on Fair Housing Act obligations as they related to emotional support animals. Not when Karen drafted her letters. Not when she filed the animal control complaint. Not when she sent the lien threat. They had let this woman wage a months-long legal and social campaign against a protected accommodation without a single person saying, "Wait, stop, you cannot do this." Alex's attorney had already drafted a formal complaint to the Department of Housing and Urban Development. The HOA's insurance carrier, once notified, flagged the situation immediately because a HOA discrimination complaint is not a noise complaint. It is a federal fair housing violation, the kind that comes with investigations, findings, and consequences that make HOA board drama look quaint by comparison. Suddenly, it was not Biscuit who had a problem. It was Karen. Within 2 weeks, the HOA issued a formal written apology to Alex. Not an email, not a verbal acknowledgement, but a signed, documented, on-the-record apology acknowledging that the enforcement action had been improper and that Biscuit was a lawfully accommodated emotional support animal with full rights to remain in the home and on the property. The animal control complaint was formally noted as unfounded. The lien threat was rescinded. The management company revised its board training materials. And Karen? She resigned from the HOA board. No announcement, no farewell speech. She just quietly submitted her resignation and stopped showing up to meetings. Neighbors noticed. Nobody was surprised. As for Biscuit, the dog who started all of this by having the audacity to exist in the wrong zip code, he is doing just fine. Better than fine, actually. Several neighbors, furious at how he had been treated, organized an unofficial Biscuit fan club. There are, reportedly, homemade dog treats involved. The elderly couple 3 doors down became his most vocal defenders during the whole ordeal and threw him a small birthday party in their backyard. The moral of this story is not complicated. Know your rights. Document everything. And never ever underestimate the legal weight of a federal fair housing protection when a power-tripping HOA board member mistakes a governing document for a sovereign nation. Biscuit was never the problem. He was just living his life. Karen made him her problem. And that turned out to be a her problem. If Biscuit deserves his fan club, smash that like button. Subscribe for a new HOA nightmare every week. The audacity never stops. Drop a comment. What would you have done with that lien letter? And share this with anyone who needs a reminder that karma is patient, thorough, and absolutely federally protected.